I love it. I honestly, I think what you're saying is just music to my ears. I know that you have a particular formula for speaking like a leader, and could you just sort of briefly describe that, and also again relate it to current virtual communication?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've got a very, very simple formula. I've got a formula for everything, Michael.
Okay.
I've got an elevator
People
pitch
like
formula.
that. People like
Yeah,
it.
I'm
Five,
not going to
six,
give
the
you all
seven
my formulas in one go,
habits.
but I'll certainly give you my basic
Okay.
formulas.
The
Only
rest of them, by
because,
the way, sorry to interrupt, but the rest of them you can find in your book, Goodbye Glossophobia, right?
absolutely, if you read
Yeah.
the book, it's got, what I've done with the book is just, you could pick it up and put it down and just pick out any bit you fancy, like, what does Obama do? The Obama donut theory. What if I go red? What if I shake? What if I'm scared of failure? You know,
Yes.
if you could just read one chapter and it would help you out.
Right.
Or how do I start? You know, and it's got a little formula for a good start. I've
Yeah.
got formulas for how to introduce people, how to speak in this scenario, and
Yeah.
how to speak on camera. But my general one size fits all formula that you can apply to yourself is really, really, really simple. It's the 3 A's. And as they say in the US, it's triple A. And triple A in the US means it's really good.
Yeah.
It's triple A standard. That's
Yeah.
why I call it the triple A formula. It's very, very simple. And it's really from all of my many years of broadcasting, working in television and radio. It starts with the A, which means audience. And I think if you've worked in broadcasting, it's in your blood and in your brain every day. The audience will switch off if I don't serve them.
Yes.
So you always put the audience first. Before you do anything, before you pick up your pen, before you think about yourself or your script or your camera or anything, the first thing you do is just think, who are my audience? Why do they care?
Yes.
And what you learn about the audience very quickly in broadcasting, because you get the data imminently, and the data says, oh, look, they switched off. And then you think, oh my goodness, it's brutal. What you realize is that very, very early on is that audiences are pretty much all over the world, particularly in this world today. We've got 1,000 things to look at. People have very short attention spans, and they don't really care about you.
Yep.
They care about themselves.
Yes.
So if there's not something in it for them, why should they bother listening? And this is where a lot of business people fall at the first hurdle, where they think, right, I need to do this agenda. We'll do the agenda. And the agenda doesn't really have anything that's audience friendly. Mm-hmm. It's just like blur, 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 blur. Or we'll have the Monday meeting. Why do we have the Monday meeting? Because we've always had a Monday meeting. Yeah, but why do you have a Monday meeting? Because that's what we do. What's in it for the audience? Right. What are you talking about? Yeah. I've never even thought about that. And if you don't so some people just say, oh, we have bacon sandwiches on a Monday meeting. Okay, good. At least there's one reason to go to the Monday meeting. It's the bacon sandwiches. And if you ask the audience, why'd you go to the Monday meeting? I bet you any money, bacon sandwiches is probably one on the list.
Right.
Depending on which country you're in.
Yes.
Okay, so audience first. And I remember, this is a true story. I remember Boris Johnson used to come in when he was mayor of London into the BBC radio studio, because every month we'd do the mayor's question times. And I remember Boris Johnson, who's now the British Prime Minister, coming in late, boom, 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 crash, crash, crash. I remember him saying, so have you got any tips for me? And I said, oh, yeah, I have got a tip, actually. All you've got to do is love your audience a little bit more than yourself, and then the audience will love you. And he went, oh, not sure if I can do that. I'm not sure if he actually answered that, but he kind of, what? Yeah. Huh? Love them more than I love myself? What? So that's a really good tip. That's a really good tip, because love your audience more than yourself. In other words, serve your audience before you serve yourself, which means when you're going to present at the company town hall or the away day, think, who are the audience? Why do they care?
Yes. And
that's your starting point, which is, everyone knows that. But when it comes to communication, do we practice that? Do we practice what we preach? Right. So A is audience. The middle A is the word that you've already used, authentic. Yeah. Be yourself. And there's loads of ways that you can bring yourself into your communication and in your speech. Yeah. I'm going to quote Oscar Wilde here. Be yourself. because everyone else is already taken. Warts and all, be vulnerable. It's okay not to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's a great tip, and a practical tip for me, and I think particularly for perfectionists, and I am in danger of being a perfectionist when it comes to myself. A really good practical tip is every morning wake up and say to yourself, I'm going to be 80% perfect today. And it actually does help you.
Yes. It takes the pressure off, right?
Yeah, if you're worried about speaking or being on a virtual masterclass, say, I'm going to be 80% perfect. I mean, I'm going to give it 100% of my effort, but I'm only going to aim for 80% perfection.
Right.
Because you will never, ever reach 100% perfection, ever. Because nobody's 100% perfect. And then that brings me to my final A. So we've had audience, authentic, and the final A is quite simply awesome. How to be a little bit awesome.
Yeah, that's very much part of the lingo. I lived in America for 28 years, and
I was going to say, you know that.
I was used to saying awesome all the time, and then I come to England, and I'm going, oh my God, America has infected England. They're all saying awesome in England.
Awesome. It's awesome. I mean, the awesome. Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.